Hi, this is Katie from Crafting Ruby Dreams and welcome to my channel. I hope you will consider subscribing to the channel, and if you're interested in getting notified when new videos go up, hit that bell button to get the notifications. If you find any of this information useful, please consider hitting the like button so that YouTube knows that this is useful and will recommend it to other people. Today is going to be the first in a series of videos on getting right with my finances. This particular video is called My Money Works For Me. It's also the first video of September 2020, and my theme for the entire month for all of my videos is foundation. It's really important to have a solid foundation in everything that you do so that what you build upon it will last. As I said, the topic for today's video is My Money Works For Me. So these are a series of questions that I have been asking myself to identify what I want to do with my money moving forward in the future, and recognizing that money is a tool. I need to figure out the best way to make it work for me in order to accomplish the goals that support both the lifestyle that I want to live as well as the values that I hold, and having my money working for me in a way that's reflective of my whole self. If you'd like to check out the overview of my budget journey to this point, I have that in my intro video, which I will link below. I've asked myself 5 questions in order to build myself a foundation on my budget journey as I work on getting right with my finances. These are questions that I think everybody who's just starting out should consider, and it's necessary for you to be honest with yourself in all things. So that's going to be the real theme of this, is being honest with yourself. So I do want to start out, I am not a financial advisor. This is just me talking about my journey. So I give no specific advice, just sharing my own experiences. The first question I pose to myself is, why is my past relationship with money the way that it is? I've talked before about how money was a source of tension in my house growing up, and I absorbed the emotions around those debates, fights, conflicts between my parents. And it is something that I'm working through in therapy about. I also have been dealing with the fact that I respond emotionally to stress by going on shopping binges. So I have a tendency to overspend my budget when I am in a situation where I am emotionally stressed out and I need the dopamine hit of purchasing something new. And I extend that dopamine hit by doing it online and then tracking how my purchases are traveling to me across the country or from overseas. It's something that I find pleasure in, so it's something that I need to recognize that is not a healthy way to obtain dopamine for me. If you are an emotional spender, but you have a budget that allows for that emotional spending and you are able to stay within that budget, then that's perfectly healthy. I just do it in a way that is not healthy for me. I am working my way through a lot of these issues with my therapist. Another thing besides therapy to consider would be meeting with a professional financial advisor, and they may be able to tease out some things for you. You may have to continue to work on those particular issues in therapy, and I'm sure that there are therapists out there who specialize in financial issues. So consider getting professional assistance if you find that your spending habits are not healthy for you and your budget. The next question I pose to myself is, why do I want my relationship with money to change? Part of this also came out in therapy, but a lot of it was me realizing that the lifestyle that I currently lead is not the lifestyle that I expected for myself when I was younger. I am not in a situation that I would have expected myself to be at this stage in my life, at this stage in my career, and it was something that greatly frustrated me, and because that added stress to my life, that added to the habit of emotional spending beyond my means, which put me further down into the spiral. But the other thing is that I have a vision for myself in the future, not everyone, again, I've talked about this before, not everybody has an easy time of seeing yourself in the future, but if you can at least see yourself in the present, your ideal present, and compare that to your reality present, figure out what those differences are, and is there anything in there that is making you emotionally respond to the change. So figure out the why of the change. It could be as simple as you just don't want to be in as much debt. You're sick of paying all of the things that you're paying off. It could be that you have something that you want to obtain in the future, such as a new car, a house, a condo, travel around the world. It could be as simple and as great, and this is actually one of my reasons, I want to be able to contribute more to charitable causes. And so right now I do not have that much wiggle room in my budget in order to support those causes that I want to support. Therefore, I am looking for ways to create a larger budget for myself by paying off debt and increasing my income in order to be able to contribute more to those causes. And again, it could be something that if you have been in therapy, it could be something that you have discovered in therapy that you didn't realize until you were having your sessions. And that could be why you want to change your relationship with money. Figuring out that why helps you move forward in the next stages of the process. Once you've figured out your why you want your relationship with money to change, you need to figure out what are the near-term changes that you want to make, such as pay off debt, increase savings, create investments for yourself. Those are going to be the mechanical issues, but knowing your why helps you figure out what's going to be most effective for you in the near term. Once you have figured out the near-term changes that you want to make, you also need to look and figure out what are the long-term changes you need to make. And these are things such as changing your mindset regarding money. It could also be going into therapy because you have discovered that you have some mental blocks surrounding money that you need to work through with a licensed professional. And it's also creating healthier habits around money in order for you to meet the goals that you want to make. So as I had a conversation with somebody recently about how I keep ending up in a debt spiral, as much as I work hard to get myself out of debt, around the time that I'm close to being out of debt, I usually end up in yet another credit card debt spiral, and then getting myself out of that, I am back to square one. And this person's immediate response was, you keep sabotaging yourself. And yes, I do keep sabotaging myself. So long-term changes, I need to work on not sabotaging myself. So those long-term habits, your mindset, getting right with your mental health, those are going to take a lot of time for you to work on. So long-term changes are things that are going to require a lot of time investment from you in order to make change happen, because they're just going to be slower to dig in on and affect the change. So the final question I'm asking myself, once I have determined why I want my relationship with money to change, I have identified near-term changes that I want to make, and then identified long-term changes I want to make. Then I can really truly dig into the actual how I am going to change my relationship with money. So that is creating an action plan, such as I'm going to read certain types of books to change my mindset. I am going to discuss in therapy certain things with my therapist. I am going to make an appointment with a financial advisor to discuss these particular issues and financial tools that I'm interested in, and whether or not they are appropriate for me at this stage in my life, and if not now, when it is appropriate for me to do that. I am going to create a separate savings account to stash away money that I forget about. So those are just examples of what you can possibly have in your action plan, but it is all dependent on what is your why, what are the near-term changes you want to make and what are the long-term changes you want to make. Those all factor into what the actual steps are that you will take in making your money work for you. I'll do a follow-up video about 3 months from now. One of the things I am planning on doing in the next 3 months is making a decision tree for purchases so that those purchases align with what my values are, what my goals are, and what it is that I want to do in my life. So those are the 5 questions that I've posed to myself to ensure that my money works for me. If you have questions that you have posed to yourself for doing something similar, please share that in the comments. If you have any questions or ideas for future videos, please share those in the comments as well. Again, if you have liked what you've seen here, please hit that like button. Also hit the subscribe button. And if you would like to get notified when future videos get posted, hit that bell button. Thank you so much, and may all your dreams be Ruby dreams. Take care. Bye-bye.